Men who gave up on dating / getting into long-term relationships / getting married. Why? Despite currently dating somebody, I never was on the lookout for anything like that. I am a very self-sufficient person. I enjoy peace and quiet, and find it sometimes hard enough to just be myself. I do not want to burden another person with that, and I do not want someone else to carry my issues. When I asked the woman I am currently dating how her view on that was, she looked at me as if I just asked something incredibly obvious and stupid, and simply told me that I am not my illness. At the current state of my life, dating and relationships offer little to no benefit to me. I'll be getting divorced soon from a toxic woman who doesn't care that she's toxic. I'll admit, I'm toxic for her as well, and have begun the road to correcting that toxicity in myself. Beyond that, I have a long road ahead of me in rebuilding every facet of my life and mental state, and I don't foresee any women who can, or will provide the support I need in order to complete that rebuilding. I'm sure there are one or two who can. I just don't have the energy to wade through the oceans of available women, shaving off more pieces of myself in the process, to find them. Nothing will change my mind. To give everything you are, make sacrifices to make others happy, work yourself into the ground to provide, and to be told you're not enough and be left isn't something I have any intentions of going through again. While I've had breakups before, losing the home that I poured everything into so we could have the white picket fence future she wanted broke me. Now I have a job that gives me a good work-life balance. I'm technically homeless, well, houseless, but I've bought a bus to turn into a home for myself and my dogs. I have time for me now. I read, I play games, I don't see other people unless I'm at work. I haven't been this relaxed in my life. I imagine this is what retirement feels like. Not giving up just yet, but if my current situationship turns sour, I probably will for the foreseeable future. Mostly because I just have come to realize that I have a huge blind spot when it comes to picking a partner. I tend to end up with people with deep trauma, and I always seem to be the catalyst for their healing. Which usually leaves me picking up the pieces. My current partner is trying her hardest, but she has so very little emotional bandwidth for romantic entanglement. We both have come to realize we love each other dearly, communicate extremely well, share so many values, and both agree that it's the best of our lives. Sigh. What is your longest relationship? 26 years total, 23 married. Above all else, communication. You need to be comfortable enough to have the uncomfortable conversations. Compromise, fairly. It really is a give and take. Both need to be willing to take the bad with the good. And most of it is simple things. I can't eat spicy, so he doesn't cook spicy, unless I am not home. He doesn't like artichokes, so I only eat them when he isn't home. Compassion. Understand that not every day is a good day for everyone, and very often it has nothing to do with the other person. My current BF, we've been together nearly 2 years. It is hard at times, we are long distance. But we are both really willing to work at the relationship. You have to make some compromises and have some understanding. We're both different people, but we love each other to bits. We're great friends, have respect for one another. I think to have respect for your partner is really important. Trust. To be comfortable with each other. We don't talk a whole pile, but that's our personalities. Actions speak a lot louder than words. I heard before, to be with the person that when you come home to that person you can breathe a sigh of relief. You can let go and be yourself. 10 years. We've been living together for around 3 those years, engaged for almost 2, and we'll be marrying within the next month. I agree with all of the PPs that emphasize communication, but I'd personally add that partners should feel comfortable while doing so. I believe that folks should be able to tell any important person in your life that something bad happened and feel like they'll be helped instead of yelled at. For example, I've always felt comfortable telling my partner about issues with my car, but my parents would always blame me when I'm panicking. Been with my husband for 8 years, married for 5. You need to be able to disagree with each other like adults. That means without raising your voice at each other or being disrespectful. The couples I know that think fighting is healthy, that have actual screaming matches, do not even seem like they like each other. My longest ongoing relationship is 3 years. Longest previously was my ex-wife for 16 years. My biggest advice is don't compromise on core values. Don't repress yourself for the sake of your partner's happiness. And don't be afraid to end a relationship if it isn't truly making your life better. I think constantly encouraging growth with each other is a key part of a relationship. It's one of the things that kept my previous relationship going so well. And our intense respect and genuine love for each other has kept us close, loving friends post-divorce. They feel like the more advanced we become as a species, the higher the population of idiots becomes? You're the only one. Read history if want to learn. The truth is, there isn't much difference. Elites control the masses. We all would be idiots if the world wasn't as advanced. We just got good education, some never had a chance. Make sure your children get good education as well. Who's to say we're not just a ball of idiots? One man's idiot is another man's Play-Doh. I always think about the difference in how we deal with boredom. I'm surrounded by so many instant gratification entertainment devices. I know if I got rid of my cell phone, computer, and TV that I would probably make much more progress with all the books collecting dust on the shelf. A perfect example, it's 9:45 a.m. and I've been lying in bed for 2 hours scrolling on the phone, now making this comment. If I didn't have the phone, I likely would have gotten bored and out of bed early and started a much more productive day. I feel that a combination of things are at play here. First, we have the internet and an elevated ability to communicate with more people all over the world than ever. Maybe the idiots have always been there, but we're more able to see it actively in front of us every day. Next, we are being fed chemicals from every angle, and it is so difficult to avoid in our food, water, medicines, etc. And intelligence is suffering as a result. I for one definitely feel that due to stress after COVID I am less mentally sharp. Who knows though, idiocracy could be a very real concept. There are a lot fewer people attempting to water crops by dancing at the sky. The more a society advances, the more specialized individuals become. We need to do more specific jobs that need a more specific skill set, rather than before when we needed to know all the general survival skills to carry on when we lived much simpler lives. I think education rates are growing, our jobs are refining, and we know more as a collective species, but less as individuals because we don't need to know as much to survive now, and this is a natural part of society formation. Emo. What is age 25 too old for? I'm 34, and beyond the obvious things, dating someone much younger, being overly emotional dependent on parental figures, the only thing you ought to be too old for is putting up with non-obligatory bullshit. Seriously, I wish I had the mindset I have now when I was 25, regarding tolerating anyone's nonsense and giving a about how I look in someone else's eyes who didn't deserve to hold weight on my self-worth. You have lived so much life to have to be imprisoned by certain treatments and negative mindsets. You deserve so much more. Beyond that, enjoy anything you love, wear what you want, enact your self-happiness, live your best life. You are too old for nothing beyond not seeing your value. Making excuses as to why you won't / can't / shouldn't help yourself. You're an adult. If you want or need to get something done, get off here and stop making excuses. You'll never get what you need / want if you continually make excuses. Whining and complaining doesn't help. It's okay to whine and complain. Just make sure you whine and complain and do something about it, whatever it may be. Being confused with mixed signals and quad. Time to learn to start requiring proper communication and follow through when dating other people. Don't keep hanging on to someone who is bad at texting or is too busy to commit to plans with you / keeps canceling plans. You know you don't want to end up with someone who does that, so don't think you have to settle for it for any reason. When I was 25 I didn't want to date younger at all. I felt men my age were already immature enough. But the lowest I would date if I met a guy and was super interested would be 21 because it's kind of hard to date someone in the US where the drinking age is 21, and if you want to go out with friends to 21 plus place, your significant other has to have fake it or they can't go. Problems and bitterness arises. Well, in my jurisdiction, it's youth services. Admittedly they kick you out at 26 at Headspace. But, I can no longer serve in the council's youth division or do youth parliament. This bullshit. What bullshit, you may ask? All of it. Work taking advantage? Bullshit. Romantic partner being vague and non-communicative? Bullshit. Society trying to police you and your life? Bull. Shy 5 it. You will have more examples. I definitely do. 25 is a good age to turn around and say, you know what? I have the experience to back myself up. I deserve better. And quad. Anything else is bullshit. Who is one celebrity nobody hates? The late Fred Rogers. Every time this question is asked I picture Tom Hanks somewhere scrolling through the comment section looking for a boost in his self-esteem. Rick Moranis. Although he did get punched by some random. That guy probably wouldn't have if he knew it was him. Michael J. Fox. Cillian Murphy? Sir Ian McKellen. LeVar Burton I think. Who can hate the Reading Rainbow guy? Kermit the Frog. Cookie Monster. Sir Michael Caine. Christina Applegate. Patrick Stewart. Weird Al Yankovic. The late and great Steve Irwin. Brendan Fraser. Steve from Blue's Clues. Tony Hawk. I've never heard any bad about him. Brendan Fraser. Danny DeVito hopefully. David Attenborough. He's a national treasure. I feel like Christoph Waltz. Dude can say the most atrocious things and he always comes up as the one guy you would love to talk with. Brendan Fraser. Never heard an unkind word about him. Haven't heard a single complaint about his comeback. Even Leonardo DiCaprio apparently loves him because he was the only guy who never treated him like the new kid on the block.